Alright, folks, we're back with some more Conquest of Elysium 4. I think this turn is resolved, if I'm remembering. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. This turn is not fully resolved. But I think we're going to do some specific stuff here. Let's clear out some of the local fauna, or I should say wildlife. But beyond that, I think right about now, I think this is our 4th episode, we're going to talk about some of the units we haven't been using. We're not going to talk about the standard stuff, crossbow, better at penetrating armor, but most factions will get most human factions will get these. These 4 units on top. These guys just have more armor. But we use the longbowmen, we talked about them. They have longer range. Decent attack. 1 to 4 on a range weapon isn't bad. Let's talk about these other guys that we haven't been using. Mostly because the call has not necessitated them. But these are going to be some of the things we're going to start seeing as we're so far away. Our free spawns are going to have trouble catching to us. So we're going to need to recruit more of these guys. And this is the pool we're usually going to be recruiting from, is longbowmen down. There's situational reasons we might get these guys, but they're usually garbage unless you get them in a deal. If you get them in one of those bundled deals that sent your way, they're possibly okay. But let's talk about the pikeneers. The pikeneers have a long-range weapon. I talk about the Hobergs being dangerous. One of the reasons is because they have similar weapons that have 2 range. Weapons that have 2 range can hit through people, so they can stand behind each other and stab. Problem being, these guys, if you have a bunch of knights or cavalrymen, these guys aren't as good, because they'll run up, and if they do die, which they usually won't, these guys won't get as many attacks off. Comparison to if they walk up together, they'll have a line in front of them attacking at the same time. It's pretty ruthless. Instead, it's going to be like this weird staggered thing. So these guys are good when combined with a line of something else in front of them. Options that are good are the heavy infantries, if you're okay with going slow on the map, have good armor and are just meat shields, basically. But there are other options on the table to stand in front of our pikeneers. And those other options are like the halberdier. What does the halberdier do well? Well, he's got a really decent damage slash. And so that's what he does. He's got 1 armor. Otherwise, he's pretty garbage. He's almost just like the spearmen, other than this damage attack. As you can see. In the armor. The armor's pretty good, but it's, he's a little bit better spearman is the answer here. And he does slashing damage instead of piercing. It's relevant depending on the enemy we're facing. Then there's this guy. The Zweihander. The Zweihander? I'm bad at pronouncing things. You'll have to get used to it, but this guy. Okay. He's not a bad unit. Not bad at all. He's got that 1 armor still. He's like the better spearman, but he's got a great sword that can do up to 9 damage. And he'll slice through some people. Not a bad unit. Not bad. Not good. Not bad. Just decent. Just decent. Just okay. So those are our okay units. Though the notable one being that you really want to just not be a meat shield are the pikeneers. If you're going to buy any of these, buy the pikeneers. And put something in front of them. Frankly, these are too expensive for you to justify building in my head. I could be wrong. But to me, the Zweihanders are a waste of your good production. You got a lot of production units. These guys, there's a reason you want them. They stand behind, you get more attacks. There's a good reason you'd want pikeneers. I can't think of a good reason I want Zweihanders. Sure, you get more damage, but the spears are cheaper. They cost you less of a precious resource in iron. And they still get attacks. They're garbage, but they have them, and they do the job of what the pikeneer. This would be greedy. The pikeneers and a Zweihander line in front would be super greedy. If you're gonna do it, just do the halberdiers. If you're gonna buy one of these 3 units and put it in front, do the halberdiers. Although I wouldn't advise it. I just do spearmen. Fuck it, because you're already getting another attack behind these guys. And sure, these are garbage, but this makes them better garbage. Like, this makes them threatening garbage, where it's like, okay, they have to fight off 2 attacks, and if both attacks hit, they're dealing with 9 damage. So you're basically doing a Zweiharder line with more health and an armor group behind them, just in case. Now, we get to something that's really good, but kind of expensive. The Tower Guards. The Tower Guards sit in your mid-range. That's important, because unlike your archers or your crossbowmen, they're technically crossbowmen, these guys are good in combat, melee combat. They have 7 HP, they have 1 armor, and they have these 2 attacks. They have their crossbow and their broadsword, and they have a shield. So really what they're taking away 2 damage with their armor. Right. So they get a 2 damage reduction. So it's like they have 2 armor. And they have 7 HP, which, if you'll notice, is more than every one of these 3 guys. So here's the thing. If you're not building up a line of pikeneers with something in front of them, you might want to build up a line of Tower Guard. Because Tower Guard are going to get the decent... Because Tower Guard do 2 things. Now, I hate wasting them in the front. But if you're going to do it, right, if you're going to build up a line of these guys and a line of archers behind them, it can be pretty brutal. Because you're getting the crossbowmen until they reach range, and then they're stabbing, and they'll start shooting again when there's no one in front of them. So, they're a decent unit there in that sense. And then we have the cavalrymen. You've seen us use them. They're the poor man's knight. That's just the easiest description. They're worse than the knight in every way, but they get the job done with that lance charge attack. It's pretty brutal. And there's the war dog. For the life of me, I can't find a use for these guys. In my eyes, they're terrible. You know, I could always be wrong. I'm always open to it. But a 3 HP fast unit that's going to run up and do a 1d4 bite is terrible to me. It's terrible. It just fills your ranks. If you need to fill your ranks with something for some reason, maybe trigger spells on people besides your important units, build these guys. And they're cheap. They're really, really cheap, and that's good. But keep in mind the number you get. You only get 4 for 25 gold. You get 5 spearmen for 50. And they don't run up like the bat shits in the wind and die. The only thing I can, and to be clear, the only reason I would get these is if you're running in cavalrymen or knights, and you're like, I need a magician to target someone else besides these guys for some reason, whether they're casting like sleep, fire spells, or something. I need bodies to separate my units out and make sure that there's a line after me who can get hit, just so they're not targeting as many cavalrymen. But that's barely a use. Then we can go to the ballista. The ballista's good because it shoots these giant arrows. Don't let them get hit in melee combat or get spelled. They're bad otherwise. They have low HP. But you get 2 of them. 2 of them for 25 gold and 50 production. I'm going to say this, and this might be controversial. Don't get the catapult. Get the ballista. The ballista gets these 2 shots. One during the siege, one during the other. By the way, I should have known from the trebuchet it only says siege. If this only says siege, it only shoots during the siege. But it'll continue to shoot throughout the round. Frankly, the situational reason I would say the catapult would be good is never. Because if you're gonna get catapult, just save it for a trebuchet. If you're really in a pinch and you're like right next to a fortress and you have a fortress by it and you're like, I need something now to go siege that fortress down, siege equipment wise, then grab this. Otherwise, just grab the trebuchet. We've seen what the trebuchet does in a siege. But this is good because it shoots during the siege. So get those if you want continued ballista bolts just taking out your enemies. They're specifically really good against high armor units. If you look at them, you know, they do 1 to 20 damage. Most units only have 3 armor, so if they do over that 3, anything over that 3 out of that 20 range, they're probably going to kill the unit or mortally wound it to the point it's bad shiz. So we've taken up a lot of this episode talking about that, but we're going to end this turn. Can skip through this. Which, by the way, the trebuchets are useless in that kind of combat, so don't don't expect them to do anything on the field. Only expect them to fight here at the siege places. Which you may ask, why are you carrying it around with you? Well, I'm carrying it around with me because one, I forgot I had it equipped, and two, sometimes you just want to carry them around just in case you see a nice thing to take. But I think for now we'll rest a little easy on that. Move this guy around, take out the wildlife, consolidate our forces. So as you can see, we just had more stuff spawn in, which means Alpha Strike Force just got a little bit thicker. Ooh, really should have been buying archers here. That's a mistake on my part. I wish we had a nice deal going on, but it looks like we don't. Grab the court mage too. Ooh, he's not that useful. Ooh, okay, that's useful. So that's a venom sword. It's just a magic item. It's pretty self-descriptive. I have trouble clicking there. It does 1 to 15 damage of poison. That's what it does. And with this guy, something you'll note about the knights is, you know how before we had that broadsword, 2 broadswords? Well, now you have 2 venom attacks. So when you're equipping your magic items, even though these guys have more attacks, right, than this guy, the venom sword will transfer to both of this guy's swings. So always give them to the high lords if you can. That kind of melee weapon is generally going to be good on the high lords because they act similar to the heroes that you can recruit in the basic. Just most people will get access to heroes just to recruit. You get those 2 swings, who are good to put magic items on if you don't have any other better things like trolls or something. So do that. But I think with that recruitment, we're going to run these guys around a little bit. Probably go into the woods, put some people there, go down again. But the unfortunate thing is we're so well defended, it's going to take forever to move our free spawn down here. So that's why I did that unit tutorial, because we're going to have to start considering our options here as I scout through the plains, hoping not to get picked off unnecessarily. As we run around here, we're going to continue. Okay, that looks like all of our guys we can move in realistic fashion. We don't have the scout here. Otherwise, I would send Carl there. Carl's force is feeling a little thinner than I'd like. So what we're going to do is, one, we're going to buy these crossbows. We're going to give this army a little punch. And then we're going to probably send him there for another round and either recruit some spears or just wait till these spears get up there. We're going to leave this mage here for now. He's our safety in case we don't have anyone to recruit. But we're going to have a constant stream of these guys who we don't find as useful in the moment until we can find a magic library to upgrade some of these not so useful magus people. We're going to sit them here and have them funnel troops down, I think. If a need arises for them, we'll do something else, but I think that'll be their biggest responsibility. Ooh, okay. Okay. We might upgrade this. Do I want to take Eadbald? I said Eadbald had a nice vacation or retirement or something before. Eadbald doesn't. He's scouting on his own. We're risking him. I know that, but that was weird. I thought I clicked on this and got confused when I saw gray units. I'm like, what happened? Was I not paying attention? Did someone die? Okay, that'll be suited. I hope the pirate music is okay. It's just the only thing I had saved on my computer. We can't have you take our farm. Nothing there. Okay. We'll do that next turn, actually, because we're going to recruit here. We're going to fill out our lines. So swordsmen are nice for a fill out of the lines here, because we're just looking for bodies for this army, just in case. Either scare people off or not get into too scary conflicts. Wonder who these people are. I wonder who's left. We put a decent amount of barons in the game, for some competition to become king, but I don't think many of them have made it further. If I'm right, it'll probably be all these guys. Maybe a lot of them have made it. Barons are usually pretty strong early, so they tend to survive longer, from what I've experienced. Okay. I don't know, maybe the title for this will be like Explanations and troop movement. It looks like that's mostly what we're going to get out of this one. Kill some more of these independent animals. Could go clear that swamp. I'm not sure what purpose that would really serve, though. Take the next turn. As we lazily, I don't know, lazily take out these independents, taking minor wounds, very minor wounds. Hopefully there's a cool magic item on that guy. Let's take a peek. No, boring. He's just sending him around, doing nothing with him. Dumb barren AIs. What do we have here? So access to archers. Ooh, okay. That'll fill out nicely this group when they come down here. So we're going to spawn that here with the anticipation that they come down here and take those archers. Now, archers are just regular bows, right? Our long bows shoot further and do more damage. These guys are okay. They'll fill out spaces where our long bowmen just aren't doing the job. We do have our scout in here. So it looks like our warriors were for naught unless there's someone who's invisible somehow. I don't know if invisible units spawn there. I don't think they do. We forgot our swordsmen. We might not go back for them. Might just take them down here. Okay, looks like our scouting mission was almost for naught. Okay, we've caught wind of an enemy, so we're going to send him back. The same enemy. I do not... It feels like this might be a Baron. I'm not certain. We're going to give the game a good old-fashioned save, as always. Take ourselves... Ooh, we lost a unit of production, which sucks, but it's like, it's all the way over here. Do I really want to waste time to walk someone over there and risk people? I don't think so. And these guys will just continually get experience here. As you can see, they've already got 1 star. So, making the Hoburgs that are probably permanently there better. Maybe one day when we get enough of them, we'll funnel them down. But until then, it's just not worth it. It's an easy kill. This is actually a really easy Ancient Forest. I'm sorry we didn't do it sooner, but no way to know what's here, so won't dig ourselves too hard for it. But we have another Unicorn Knight. Well, there is a way to know what's there. We have it now in our party, but we did not have a scout before, so we'll drop some longbowmen, but mostly just spears to defend this place from... I hate when I do that. Too many double clicks in all the wrong places. We won't go grab those archers yet. Instead, we'll continue moving this way. Hopefully that's enough to defend that. We'll kill this moose. Continue running down our dream of acquiring all the ancient forests. Oh dear. Okay. These guys could potentially have some weird stuff. So these are like the tribal Aztec kind of Mayan themed nation. I say both because they have variations of both kind of jaguar warriors and feathered warriors, and it's just like, okay. These slaves are garbage. I'm not scared of these at all. They do terrible damage. They're easy to kill. Basically just waiting. These guys, the good thing here is they are going to have trouble piercing through our armor. The trouble is what magic they have, because we have gotten very unlucky in terms of libraries. We don't have any. Which, if you don't know, libraries give us more access to mages. And since we are low magic, we are mostly only good against nations that are also low magic. And this nation is not low magic. They have a lot of physical stuff, but if they've gotten some good summons, then we could be in some trouble. I'm actually going to build some tower shields, just to start having some good units down here. Other than that, Edbald is going to start building up his army. What will his army be composed of? I think we're going to do the Pikeneer route. We're going to do a line of Pikeneers, and we're going to do a line of... We could do something interesting and try and budget Hoburg militias as our front line with Pikeneers behind them. That could be interesting. We'll see what we do. We'll think on it a little bit. I don't know what I'll do with that yet. I do not know. Other than that, we have Carl left. Do I want to risk moving Carl down? I think I will. I will move Carl down. Because Carl will upgrade this, because I've forgotten about it in my unit explanation. I Totally forgot I had intended to build up that fortress. A hero! Oh. I wonder if that old hero just actually didn't... The hero he killed over here didn't die. He just ran back to this village. Was like, hey, I'm with you now. Okay, buddy. I see you. I see your game. But this is a pretty weak stack versus us. And you're going to see why these guys aren't going to do well if they've only got physical units. But they have a very good potential. They have mages. Unless the law of averages has not favored them as it has us in terms of magic libraries. Because at least, I would expect at least one, or like a city, which would give us one magic library, but we didn't get either, so a little disappointed on that front. Continue, try and get a whole line of pikeneers. We'll need other stuff too. Not getting those guys. Leave only the slingers for now. But we're not moving out anytime soon. This guy's just recruiting, so we'll sentry him. Actually, we won't, because we want to come back to him every turn when we do next commander. Carl's stuck there for now. These guys will eventually funnel troops down when they spawn again, which would be nice. They might go take those iron bogs. Is the production worth it? I don't even know if it's worth it. So you're gonna see. We're just gonna. This is. I have no. That we probably won't take any losses. One, because so many of them are targeting these guys that I am very unconcerned. Just due to our large armor, because these guys are armored. Most of these, I think all of these are knights, so they're all 3 armor at least. Yeah, no losses. A couple wounds on our spears, and I think a knight took some damage, but... Another alchemist. Just do that. Ooh, goody goody. What did he get? Strength and cold resistance. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, well, I actually will go grab these archers, because I want to take them to this ancient forest, because this is so far out of the way. The only reason we need that is for more unicorn knights. I would love to take this, but I don't know. Are they Micklin? I don't know if they're Micklin in this. They're Micklin in Dom 5 and Dom 4. I don't know if that faction is called Micklin in this. Are they called, like, they aren't called Micklin, because they have names like Necromancer and Baron. Tribal Kings? Are they called Tribal Kings? I don't know what their faction head is called. I can't click on it, so... Whatever they are, they're in our way. And so we must slay them. God, do I want to do Hobart? It's so hard to choose. I think we're just going to do Spearmen. But we'll fill out this line first. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Yeah, okay. We got one more recruitment of these guys. We'll do one more line of one more squad of pikeneers, and then we'll pick our chaff unit to throw on the front lines. Not too concerned about it. Other than that, I think we've filled out. I should just do next commander. I'm only gonna pick up Eadbald. Oh, geez. Okay. Oh, yep. Okay. They got big O's. See, this is the magic stuff I was talking about. And I mean more than just magic. They have units they can spawn with magic. But you can see they have a whole bunch of... Oh, they got Hydra armor on this guy? I want that for my knights. So we've lost this squad, these honorable guys we've had for a while. This is the biggest threat we faced. This army's not going to survive, guys. We got caught off guard with it. We don't have good scouts, so it's expected. But we're really going to need to pay attention to what we need to take this down. And, oh my god, you know what we're going to need? We're going to need the Hoburg Slingers. This is one of the factions that has no armor. And Hoburg Slingers will do terrible against everything, except for stuff like this. Archers are our go-to, because you can see all their stuff is terrible armor. I don't know how we're going to deal with these guys. The Great Macaws have so much HP, it's just going to be brutal. But the rest of them, archer lines. Garbage in the front, archer lines in the back is our answer to this problem. Maybe some ballista to try and thin out some of their higher HP units. But we just need to take them out. Crossbowmen are a waste here. Knights are kind of a waste, because stuff is just going to die in the front and to this major attacking stuff and the spells eventually. Oh, come on. Kill some of their good summons. This is just so unworth it. I would have run away if I knew this was happening. Oh, God. And we're losing an alchemist, too. And he would have been helpful, because he's got fire resistance that he could have cast. God, we don't have any magic stuff to counter this. Some good magic spells would just crush through the slaves and through this low magic resistant animal stuff. Especially someone with, like, befriend animal, one of the druid spawns would have been great. Okay, we got through their giant tiger people, jaguar things. So this army isn't completely wasted. It's killed things, but it hasn't killed enough. But Karl needs to retreat. It was a risk. A risk we took and lost. Please kill this thing. Please shoot it. Shoot this. Yes! Okay. We took out some of their big stuff. Now they just got lines of crappy jaguars and macaws. And this army's going to be a big kill for us if we can eventually get it. But I don't know where these guys will go. And by their... This is their faction leader, I believe. It's called the Priest Kings. I'm pretty sure now. I'm pretty certain that's what they're called. And they live in a temple. So we lost that army. Rest in peace to those guys. Our Southern Knight Squad. We had pulled them all the way from up here, so that's a long trek to get another one of those. But now we know what we have to deal with. And unfortunately, our Pikeneer strategy is not the way to go. We need garbage unit and a lot of longbowmen. That's what we need. I'm going to raise levies here just so they're obstacle, but we're going to retreat this guy because I do not want to lose Karl. And we're going to continue this guy's trip. I'm actually not going to go back for the archers. We're just going to leave whatever there that we have left after fighting. Hopefully there's nothing too crazy hidden that we didn't see before. That we couldn't see without a scout. The good news is we have trebuchets, which those guys don't have like any armor. They're gonna get pummeled in the siege line if they try and take our fortresses. So I'm not worried about like game. This isn't like game over worried. This is like shit. We're gonna take heavy losses. This is gonna be really irritating kind of problem. This is the problem we're dealing with now. Kind of irritating, maybe really push us back depending on how many squads we lose, because that was one of our major armies we lost. Lost one of our main squads. Our main chase down squad we used to kill the Hoburgs with, by the way. So, that sucks, but it's not that bad. Because we have stuff left. We have our loyal Egrif, who's been with us since the beginning. We have Eadbald, who's been called back to the front, and he's been called back to spawn us many archers who will shoot and murder them before they can touch us, and who will lose many men in the front. I don't know. I actually think Hoburg militias might be useful just because there's so many of them spawn that they'll just... Because I know that whatever I'm spawning is going to die, and we just need bodies in between us and our enemies. Oh, they took that town. I don't know if they sacrifice towns. There's certain factions that will remove towns, and I'd really like to have that town and it not be destroyed. Oh, you know what'd be cool? If we could catch these guys, and this is so dangerous, I'm not doing it, but if we accidentally catch one of these guys who's fortified like this in a siege, and we have trebuchets, a lot of this army's just gonna die. Like, these guys get hit. Okay, they're not gonna die on the first strike, because he's got a lot of HP, but they're gonna get wounded, and that's nothing to shy at. And most of this army is just these garbage jaguars. These jaguars suck. Don't be mistaken by their big health pools. They have no armor. They will just get hit and die and die and die. Okay? All that's damage, all that's potential wounds. Right? They're gonna get wounded into hell. They have a claw and a bite that's pretty good. So they get at you, they'll start chewing up troops. But that's why I say archers. Archers ping these guys down. You have nothing left after you get a good archer wall on these guys. And we have the longbowmen to do it. The blessed gift of England that England gave us, the longbowmen. Is there really nothing here? I didn't believe it, but apparently the Hoburgs must have chomped it up, or some other group of... Maybe the demonologists did? I don't know. I can't worry about that now. We got other things going on. Got other worries. As we just stock up on longbowmen here. For our grand army. We're gonna need a bunch of guys in the front, too. I'm not even gonna bring the crossbow guys. We should bring them. Give us a little more oomph. Although, if they sit in the back line like that when we move, they're going to be useless. Until we get real desperate. Let's build longbowmen after longbowmen. Stock up here. This is actually a pretty good squad. The only reason... Oh, is he going to sit there and spawn stuff? Oh, I'm so tempted. I am so tempted to run over there and be like, hey, trebuchet! Would you like some trebuchet? But I don't want to risk Carl on it specifically. If we can get Egriff down there, Egriff is a risk that I would take, unfortunately for Egriff. He's less important to me, as much as it pains me to say. Okay, this should be secure enough. We'll start getting Unicorn Knights up here as summer comes around and drag them down. And I think that's the end of this episode, as the episode will be called A New Enemy Arises, guys. We're going to end the turn soon here, and then we're going to hit our next one as we plan to take on the tribal kings. We have no idea what their empire looks like. We know they're up here and also over here. We don't know what enemies are pressing on them. What is this guy's name, just so we know who's off the board here? Alt. So that's not a Baron. This does not go in order. That's good to know. Alt is the red. They're our next combatant. We'll see you guys next time. Be sure to check out more of our Conquest of Elysium stuff, D&D stuff. I digress. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're so inclined to have it. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.